Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week's Torah portion actually discusses Shabbat. And the Torah says, Oti la'olam, that Shabbat is an eternal sign between God and the Jewish people. What does it mean that Shabbat is a sign? So I once heard from Rabbi Esther Youngray. She said, when you see a married woman with a diamond ring, so sometimes you see a woman with a very large 3-4 carat stone, and sometimes you see a woman with this tiny little diamond ring that you need a magnifying glass to see the diamond. But they're both equally married. And not only that, sometimes maybe the woman with the tiny little diamond ring has a much better and more loving marriage than the woman with the large stone. It's not the size of the diamond. That's just an external expression. It's a sign that they're married. The marriage is what goes on internally. So too in our relationship with God. It's not the external symbolisms that demonstrate the greatness of the relationship. That's only a sign, Shabbat. But what matters is the love and the devotion of the heart and the soul that we bring to our connection with God. And this idea is also found in this week's Torah portion where it talks about the half shekel. Torah says every Jew should give a half shekel to build the tabernacle. And it says the rich man shall not give more and the poor man shall not give less. And once again the Torah's message is that we never know one's depth of conviction, of love, of devotion to God. The rich man may give something large and the poor man may give something small. But in God's eyes, they're equal. And therefore one contribution had to be truly half a shekel, that the rich and the poor were giving the same exact donation. Sometimes an $18 contribution from a poor person could be more precious to God than an $18 million donation from a rich man. It's the heart and soul with which it is given. But there's another way to view this. Someone once said that some people are so poor, unfortunately, that all they have is money. Wealth is not only measured with monetary blessings. When you say someone's a wealthy person, a rich person, it means wealth in life. And therefore, the verse could be read as follows. The rich man should not increase. Meaning to say, when you have many blessings of richness and wealth in your life, you have great accomplishments, do not become arrogant. Do not become haughty. Do not become inflated. Realize you're only a half a shekel. You've only accomplished half. There's so much more you can do, so much more potential to realize. On the other hand, the poor man should not be diminished. If you feel that you don't have great accomplishments or blessings in your life, do not feel inadequate. Do not feel insignificant. Know that your contributions, the difference you make, the deeds you do have great value and importance. And therefore, both the rich and the poor give the half shekel. They tell a story about Shai Agnon, who was the first Israeli to ever win a Nobel Prize in 1966 for literature. And when news broke that it was announced that he was the winner, it was a moment of great jubilation for Israel to be recognized on the international stage with a Nobel Prize winner for the first time, a country that was only born 20 years earlier. And all the reporters came to Shai Agnon's house to interview him, and there were cameras and videos and light bulbs were going off, and everyone wanted to talk to him and clamored to have a moment with him. And then one of the reporters said, Mr. Agnon, can you sit down at your desk and pretend like you're writing so that we could get a picture of you writing at your desk for tomorrow's paper? And Shai Agnon said, sure. He sat down behind his desk and all the light bulbs of the camera started flashing. And he wrote something on a piece of paper. And when he got up, someone in the room went over to see what he wrote down. And they looked at the paper and he wrote 5 words in Hebrew. The 5 words were the words from the Yom Kippur prayer, which read, Adam yisodo me'afar v'sofo la'afar. Man originates from dust and returns to the dust. In this moment of heightened honor and praise and recognition and fanfare, Shai Agnon wrote a note to himself. Man originates from dust and returns to dust. Don't become arrogant. Don't become haughty. Remain humble. Realize you're just a human being of flesh and blood. And so therefore the Torah says, if you are rich, not just monetarily rich, but rich with blessings and achievements and good deeds and accomplishments, don't become haughty because you're only halfway there. There's so much more you can do. But at the same time, if you don't have a lot of richness in your life. You feel sometimes maybe small. Don't feel small. Your deeds are equally precious to God as long as you're doing the best you can do. Have a Shabbat Shalom.